The Honourable David Park.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. In this contribution I want to refer to a matter that was raised by the Labour Party in its minority report, and it concerns one of the amendments introduced by clause 38 in part 1, which is provided for in the new proposed section 382 subsection 1I. And this is this is related to the functions of the Education Council of Aotearoa, New Zealand, or as it's shortened in the bill, the Education Council. And the proposal is that the Education Council has, amongst other things, the obligation to issue practising certificates and setting in criteria for the issuing of practising certificates of different kinds, including renewals. And then subclause I goes on to provide that to ensure that appraisals made by the professional leaders for the issue and renewal of practising certificates achieve a reasonable and consistent standards, they're going to impose an audit and moderating requirement of those appraisals for at least 10% of the practising certificates that are issued or renewed. So 1 in 10 practising certificates will have this more complex process that includes moderation or audit, or in fact audit and moderation, not either or, but audit and moderation. And the point that was made by the Labour Party in our minority report is that we don't think that this additional cost is justified. I know the National Party like to think of themselves as being the party that stands against unnecessary compliance costs, but this seems to be an obvious case where they're adding to compliance costs in a way that there's been no justification given. As was stated by my colleagues, the research suggests that the best teacher appraisals are those that are conducted in a collegial manner in a high trust environment rather than in a rules-based system where you have audits and moderation. So, Mr Chairman, I would be interested to hear from the Minister and the Chair why he thinks that the cost, which is going to have to be borne by someone if you're employing auditors or moderators to do again what's already been done by the Education Council. The Education Council is, of course, already quite a large body, and then it has the obligation to appoint lead people to, on its behalf, issue these practising certificates, and I would have thought that that is enough, that you could rely upon the Education Authority to come up with its own systems. It might want occasionally to have an audit, but why it should in statute be specified that 1 in 10 of the certificates that are practising certificates that are issued or renewed in every 1 year, why 1 in 10 should automatically always have to be checked seems to me to be a bit over the top. I don't know why we can't just trust the Education Council to actually decide what's appropriate. And if they come across a problem, they might think that to tidy things up, they need to test 1 in 10. But I can't imagine them needing to test 1 in 10 to put through moderation or audit 1 in 10 of the renewals of practising certificates for teachers, for example, every year. Just seems to me to be a waste of money, a waste of time, frustrating for everyone involved, and so I'd like the Minister to answer that. I don't know of other examples where we have other professions where when they apply for renewal of their practising certificate, whether they're a lawyer or a doctor or whatever they are, or an engineer, do they automatically have a 1 in 10 someone judging, acting as a moderator or an audit in respect of those functions? Sir, the other... Sir, the other issue that I was going to raise, and I'm not going to traverse again the issue as to appointments to university councils, but one issue that I didn't have a chance to address is the other end of the process, which is removals. And my understanding is that the removals power in the legislation has been changed so that the Minister, Mr Chairman...
David Parker, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr
On the
Chairman.
basis of loudness.
That was very... Thank you, Mr Chairman. I won't take the full call, but I'm not sure what the justification is for the Minister having the power of removal, not just of the members of university councils that have been appointed by the Minister, but all of them. That's right. As I understand it, until now, the University Council controlled its membership in respect of the removals. Then the ones that the University Council appointed, you expect that they were the ones who would exercise a right of removal. But I'm told, and in fact I've read the provision in the legislation. I forget the proposed section just offhand, but I did have a read of it. I forget the section number, but I did have a read of it. The power of removal is vested in the Minister in all instances, including in respect of appointments that aren't made by the Minister. And I'd like some explanation as to why that's necessary from the Minister as well.
Second time she's been up.
Thank you.